The Sofia Gray Show.
Hello, listeners and kinky friends. Welcome to the Sofia Gray Show, where we discuss all things sex, kinks, and fetishes. From the sex stories to the latest trends in the erotic world, we talk taboo transparently. This podcast is brought to you by Sofia Gray, the largest used underwear marketplace. I'm Tracy Bust.
And I'm Lacey Bloom.
And today we're going all in. Is that
so
all in?
Deep? As deep as it gets.
As deep as it gets. Oh my gosh. Today we are talking all about deep throating. Deep throat. Not the conspirity
I was
thing,
about to
but
say, not the like Nixon,
yeah, he'll be like, what the fuck is this podcast? I thought it was about sex and they're talking about Nixon? No,
we're showing our age, by the way, too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the young listeners, the young Gen Zers listening saying deep throat. What? Nixon?
What?
Who? Huh?
Nixon was in a porn where he was deep throating? I never knew that.
Oh, everybody saw it.
Yeah. I'm sure they have. Okay, so Lacey, I'm going to wrap my brain around this. So not all blowjobs are deep throating, but all deep throating is blowjobs.
Yes.
Can you wrap your brain around that? It's like all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
I love that we share a brain because that was the exact analogy that I was thinking of.
We share one brain. So
the other one that I think of that always kind of throws people, but I feel like it applies here, is not all sandwiches are hot dogs, but all hot dogs are sandwiches.
Wait a minute. I completely disagree with that.
Okay, no, it's an argument that I have with people all the time about whether or not hot dogs and hamburgers qualify as sandwiches.
Oh, God. Now, this is going to keep me up at night. Not something sexy is the...
I bet you didn't think you were going to come here and talk about deep throating only to hear me bitch about hot dogs and sandwiches. But I mean, hot dogs, deep throat, they really do go hand in hand.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, actually, moving on, we could come back to this, but should you want to practice deep throating, a hot dog is the perfect tool.
Whether you consider it a sandwich or not.
Whether you can, you could use it as a sandwich, you could use it as a hot dog, or you can use it as a way to get rid of your gag reflex.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do with it. Listen, it's all you, dudes. It's all you.
But I totally understand what you're talking about because, when you give a blowjob, it's, a lot of licking, sucking, using your hands, working that stick it's your job, but not always blow job.
Yeah, it's tough. But deep throating is different in the sense is that you are putting as much of the person's penis in your mouth as possible. Probably, hopefully, with the intention of having it reach the back of your throat. Now, I know for some people, just hearing that triggers your gag reflex, and I get that. But it feels really good for people, and it feels really good to give to people if that's something you want to do. So. Let's talk about gag reflexes. Let's talk about gag reflexes really quick.
Yes.
So basically, we all know we have one. It's when the back of your throat contracts and it's triggered by an object in there. And basically, it's good that we have one because then we won't choke on things. You know what I mean? But it's
not just penises.
Yeah, not just penis, food.
Stuff.
Yeah, you gag when you're choking on food. So you don't it's good. It's having a gag reflex is good, but should you want to be deep throating though, and you have a very I guess not weak but strong or active sensitive gag reflex, there are ways that you can kind of train your body to kind of strengthen the ability, not be so like gaggy so quickly. You know, that's what scientists say. But if you're wondering, can you stop your gag reflex? The answer is yes.
Yeah, I feel like with anything else, it's a matter of practice and training. And will it necessarily happen overnight? Probably not.
Probably not. Because, like, I'll be honest with you, I used to think that, like, when people were able to, like, deep throat, I thought it was, like, those people who can, like, their body is just that way. Like, you know how people can put, like, their legs over their shoulders or something, and I'm like, oh, they just have flexible joints. I guess I just assume that, like, oh, I guess their jaw is flexible and they can deep throat.
Right.
Like it's a genetic thing, which it's not.
And not to bring up hot dogs again. Can you tell that I'm hungry? But it's like,
I know.
You read about people who do like eating contests and hot dog eating contests, and some of the reasons they're so good at it is because there are people who have like their jaw slightly dislocated like at all times, and they can just like shove it back. And so I'm with you. That's definitely something that when I was growing up and like first hearing about blowjobs, I was like, oh my God, like what do you mean people can stick a whole dick in their mouth? What?
Yeah, they can, but it takes practice. And and it's something that I think they want to do. Like, if you have no desire to deep throat someone, like, good for you. This is only if you want to. So I think with that, if you're like, oh, I don't think I can deep throat, but I want to, there's a chance that you can. Because it's like a very small percentage of people have like a really strong gag reflex where it's like impossible. Like, it's like a very low percentage, like 10% or something. Conversely, or also, in addition, whatever the adverb is, if you know that it, like, your partner, if you're with a partner, they should not expect you to know how to deep throat in the same sense of you thinking you can deep throat without practice, without getting used to it. So don't be with someone who is expecting you to deep throat when you've never done it before, when you're not comfortable with it before. Like, this is all about like consent and communication. And I don't know. I feel like I've been in situations where like I am with someone and they'll be like pushing down on my head without my consent. And I think, like, I know some people like that. Some people don't like that. I like it to be a consensual thing.
Right.
So if that's something that you don't like, communicate it and have your partner consent. And if they're not going to, then, you know, that they're not the right partner for you.
Yeah. I think blowjobs in general, not just deep throating, get kind of a bad rep, especially for the people who are the ones performing said blowjobs, because so many of us have experiences that are somewhat triggering in future experiences with other partners, because of things like somebody expecting you to, you know, drop to your knees and just shove their entire dick into your mouth, or them holding you down so much that your eyes water and you can't breathe. And and like, if that's what you want, that's fine. But again, like, it's gotta be there has to be some sort of communication and understanding between the two of you, three of you, whatever. You know, that it's that, you know, these are the conversations you have to have with your partner before performing any kind of acts.
Absolutely. Yeah. So never do anything you're uncomfortable with, and your partner should never expect you to do anything that you don't want to do. So obviously that's out of the way, which is like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always, a lot of people think that swallowing is easier when you're deep throating, and that's a misconception. I think that's another thing that like is something you need to comes with practice, is swallowing.
Yeah, I could just picture, because I can see why people think this, because it's like, if you have an idea of someone's dick down your throat, you're like, oh, well, it's already so far down that
maybe it'll just like seep down. I won't feel it. Yeah.
It's just going to slide right on down my throat.
Yeah. No, it's like it could trigger more of a gag reflex. So again, practice. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So here are a few tips on how to deep throat and get better at deep throating.
All right.
Is the most important thing. This is the most important thing with any type of thing you want to do, whether it's speaking in public or deep throating. You need to relax. Relaxing is the most important thing you can do. I feel like especially our jaws are like the one thing that tenses up a lot, I think, you know, like when your body tenses up. And so if your jaw is tense, like I feel like it's going to be hard for you to like envelop the entirety of a phallic object. If like your tension is in your body, it can go to your jaw. So relaxing is key. And also like it's key for having fun altogether. You know what I mean?
I was about to say it's supposed to be fun. Like if you're not relaxing and you're not having fun, then don't do it. Whether it's deep throating or anything else. But I mean it's not just your body, but your mind, relaxing all the parts of you and making sure that, you know, sometimes your head and your body aren't on the same page. So just checking in with yourself.
For sure. So this next like tip kind of segues from the first tip, and that's breathe. Isn't that crazy? Breathing.
We don't do that. We don't do that enough. Like
we don't
just
breathe
in
enough.
general.
Yeah.
I took a yoga class recently via, you know, Zoom or what have you. And it's amazing how many times the teacher has to remind everyone to don't forget to breathe.
Yeah.
Because you really don't focus on it. And so it's so important to do that.
Yeah. I definitely think it's important. Well, obviously breathing is important, but it's like breathing during deep throating is important because it is hard to breathe with your mouth when there is an orifice, when there's something inside it. Obviously, you're going to have to breathe through your nose, and I think that's uncomfortable to be only breathing through your nose. So here are a few tips to make breathing easier. As you are sliding him or her out of your mouth, you inhale. So or through your nose, like I was doing. Lacey could see me do it.
Yeah, it's hard to do. Model it over a microphone.
Yeah, I'm deep throating this microphone right now. But like, but it's like you move away and you breathe. I don't know. And you take the air with you.
I wish everyone had the show that I was getting right now.
Guys, Lacey is so turned on right now. You should see the sweat dripping.
Tracy looks like she's an astronaut in space, like bobbing around.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that was so gross. I just made the weirdest, like, inhale. Don't do that. But I think you're supposed to do it through your nose. But, like, for some reason, like, I'm worried about, like, my nose making that Donald Trump. You know how, like, Donald Trump snorts into a microphone? And, like, I don't like that sound.
No.
So, anyway, sorry to make this political. Okay. Inhale as you slide him out. Another thing you can do is, while you are deep throating, to, like, stick your tongue out a little bit. Because you can... You should see Lacey. Now she is turning me on. She's sticking her tongue out at me. Like,
yeah, I'm modeling it for no one.
Yeah, for me. What are you talking about?
You.
This is great. So if you stick your tongue out, it can create like a little gap of air, and it can it can create a gap that like lets some air in your face. And also, this is also important, and this is something I need to remember whenever I give someone oral sex, is taking breaks. Take breaks.
Yes. Don't feel like you need to like swallow their dick and never come up for air again. Because it's just like if you're swimming, like you can't stay down there forever.
I know. Yeah. And it's like, you know, you like give your mouth a break, use your hands a little bit, that's fine, or switch things up. But yeah, I feel like for me, I'm like constantly like, this is probably deeper than I want it to be, but it's like, oh, I gotta please them. Are they having fun? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it comes from that kind of like self-consciousness in my brain. Sure. And it's like, okay, well, I gotta give it all and have him take it all. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, you have to give yourself and I think, like, given that, like, relaxing is so important, like, us not taking breaks is kind of antithetical to the relaxing tip, you know? And so, yeah, I think, like, it might be bigger. It's like a bigger self-conscious thing than maybe I'm making it out to be. But do you know what I mean?
No, I totally understand. Well, and this was, I remember being in college and sharing a house full of girls, and I mean, we talked about everything, and of course blowjobs came up regularly. And one of the things that, several of these women said that they didn't like about giving blowjobs was that, well, what's in it for me? Like, this isn't fun for me. And again, I mean, it just goes back to the whole idea of like, if you're not having, like, this should be fun for you and your partner.
Yes.
This, whether you're the giver or the receiver, like there's such a fantastic amount of power in being the one responsible for somebody's pleasure. But like, that's not something I understood when I was 18. And
of course not. Yeah.
It's something that, with the right person, the right partner, it will absolutely be enjoyable. But if it's not, and you're not having fun, if you find yourself overthinking it, which I know is like another idea on our list as well, is, if you're overthinking it and you're just focusing so much on, am I pleasing them? Am I doing everything right? It's not going to be fun anymore. So just go with it.
Go with it. Yeah. Well, I think, it's a great tip. Like, don't overthink things. So then I think the next idea, when you're deep throating, you're probably thinking like, what am I doing with my lips? Because it is like such a new sensation as like the person giving the blowjob to like have your lips open. Your lips are gonna feel weird, but just like get used to it. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like your mouth is open so wide, and it's like you're not necessarily like wrapping your lips around their dick, and so it's like I feel like a gaping hole right now. Do you know what I mean? And it's like but it's gonna feel weird, but it's like get used to it. Yeah.
Like, when else do we do that with our mouths? Like, of course it's not gonna feel perfectly natural.
And like also, I guess for me, like, it won't feel sexy. You know what I mean? When you're, because like lips are, for me, is like such a sexy thing, and it's like so many other people find like what people do with their mouth, what they do with their lips is sexy, but like when you're just kind of like why your mouth is wide open and it's more about like the internal of your mouth and not the external, you were like, oh my God, like, is this sexy? Do I feel weird? But again, I feel like, that kind of goes back to like the don't overthink it. You know what I mean? And don't feel self-conscious. It, be in the moment, that kind of thing.
I love, by the way, that every time we share another piece of this list, we both are like using our mouths and tongues to just sort of like act it out for each other.
I know. Just like,
we've never been sexier. I wish everyone could enjoy this.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. You're not seeing me bedhead, like no makeup. Like,
I love it.
So we mentioned earlier with the hot dogs, you can practice before the actual act, where you can use your finger, you can use the handle of your toothbrush, you can use the dildo, to normalize the sensation of something reaching in the back of your throat. Now, I feel like don't start by like jamming your finger in and like, or jamming something into the back of your throat. Like, go slow, be gentle. And as like something slowly starts to trigger your gag reflex, just like take a deep breath, see if you can work through it by relaxing. If you can't, take your finger out. If you can, go further. Just, it's I don't know. It's like learning a new sport. You know what I mean? Like, it's learning a new skill. Be patient with yourself.
I don't want to bring up yoga again. I feel like
No, but there's
so
yoga.
many things that are connecting to hot dogs and yoga in this episode. Who knew? But no, I mean, this is something that, again, in my yoga classes, they've told us, like, there's a difference between pain and uncomfortability. And in yoga and in deep throating, we want you to be a little uncomfortable. Like, that's okay. It's, about pushing a little bit further, pushing your limit, a little bit harder, so that the next time you do it, you can stretch a little bit more and take a little bit more deeper. And so I think the same rules apply. And it's just sort of about recognizing the differences between oh my gosh, this is my gag reflex. That's it. I can't go any further. Or, okay, this is uncomfortable, but maybe if I hold it for like 5 more seconds, oh, I can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe the next time I can do it for 10 seconds, or I can go a little bit further.
Okay, Lacey, I have to ask you something. Have you ever hummed while you were giving a blowjob?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And moaned? I think I've definitely moaned, which is like fun and feels good. Like the vibration feels good on my partner's dick. But like I've never like hummed. Like, do you hum a tune?
No, I totally. It's okay. Get ready for this. So. Okay. You want to play a little game? Here we go.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this.
So, you know how in sweet romantic movies, there's like that occasional scene where someone's drawing something on the back of their partner, like with their finger, like they're spelling out a word or something, like "You're beautiful, I love you." Cute. Okay. So let me tell you about the sexy blowjob way to do that, which is to hum a tune while you're doing it and have your partner try to guess the song.
Oh my God. I love this game. Play that tune.
Yeah, exactly.
Or guess that tune? Oh, whatever.
Name
that tune. We got it, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, 3rd time's the charm. But no, it's definitely I mean, and you know what? Bonus, it gives your partner something to also like concentrate on, so that you know, no matter how good it feels, they're not gonna like explode at any second. It's like it sustains a little bit longer. So
got it.
Yeah,
so,
I'm a fan.
That's a great idea. So what's your go-to
song
to hum while you're blowing someone?
It's like we're going to karaoke.
I feel like I would do like Sweet Caroline, you know what I mean? And it's like I would hum Sweet Caroline, and then like my partner would go bum bum bum, you know what I mean? And then it would be just like this fun, like we're at the Boston Red Sox game or something.
That's like right out of a rom-com. That's gotta be like a dirty, raunchy rom-com. But I don't know. I feel like I switch it up depending on the person, but I don't think you can go wrong with some Bon Jovi.
You ask them like what their favorite genre is.
Yeah. Hey, what do you like?
Yeah. What kind of music do you like?
Heavy metal? Gonna have to brush up on some garbage.
Yeah. The band Garbage. Heavy metal is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Treasure.
Yeah.
I'm not talking down on heavy metal, I promise.
No, I know. Yeah, because there's one thing. So I guess my point is humming or moaning right when someone is about to climax in your mouth can feel really good. And can also provide a great soundtrack to the climactic moment. Also, when you are deep throating and you're like, what do I do with my hands? There's so many options.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. You can play with his balls. You can dig your nails into his thighs, squeeze his butt, help him squeeze his butt and help him like thrust in and out of you. I'm a fan of putting my hands behind their knees because I feel like behind the knee is an erogenous zone, and I've always found my partners have enjoyed that. So let me suggest that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I guess it depends too on sort of like what position you're in.
Oh, 100%.
As well. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm an ass lady. I love getting a nice grip on them buns, hun.
Yeah.
So,
Another tip, use lube, edible lube in this
always.
Case. Because then like it's also fun for you if you use like a flavor. It could be, there's even, did you know there's pumpkin spice flavored lube now?
Oh, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, right?
I heard about that. I was like, really? And then I was like, of course. You know what I mean? It was like that
they
weird
should
of like
just hand them out like at Starbucks with your latte.
Yeah. Another thing is that when we were talking about like opening your jaw wide, like when open wide, that might not be the best terminology because like when you yawn, you know, you're opening your mouth wide. But when you're doing that, the back of your throat is constricting, and that is the opposite effect that you want. So usually, like, I think in your brain, like when you're like, okay, open wide, you should say, let your mouth fall open.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I think with that, like, it'll help your like jaw relax more. And so it also means that you won't be like tensing up your throat like you do when you yawn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Going back to the idea of like feeling relaxed while you're deep throating someone, like I also feel like a way that you can be relaxed is to use a vibrator on yourself or use a toy on yourself or even touch yourself, just to like help your body be in the moment, help your blood flow, because then again, you'll be more relaxed and it'll just be a more enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I mean, my partners have always found it really sexy to, you know, watch me play with myself. So I feel like that would be just as good for me as it would be for them.
Totally. Yeah. Like for me, I'm like, I always play with myself when I give a blowjob. I just realized that just now. Of like, oh yeah, I kind of do that. Anyway,
and why not? Why not?
On.
Like,
yeah.
Again, it's not about one person. It's about everybody.
Yeah. So there are 3 different positions that are kind of recommended to use for the best possible deep throating position. One is lying on your back with your head hanging off the bed. So people have a lot of luck with this position. So the base of your neck is hanging off the edge of the mattress, and it kind of, I guess it seems like it's more of like a straight line for the opening of the mouth to the back of the throat. So it's easier for the person with the penis to like go all the way in when you're just like, your head is like hanging off the bed. There is the kneeling in front of him or her, whoever has the penis position. Some people don't find this the most comfortable, but if you like it, I'd say do it.
That's
like
my go-to for blowjobs in general, but I don't know how great it is for deep throating specifically.
Because it's like you're not as in control, and if you want a level of control, I say he is lying on his back and you're in front of him and you're on top of him.
Yeah. Because that's more comfortable on the knees too.
It is more comfortable on the knees. Yeah. Yeah. And again, you have better control. And if you need to take a break, you're in control of your mouth in that situation. So if you do need to take a break, if you need to like take a breather or use your hand for a bit, like you have more control. And I think I like that. That's probably my go-to position.
Yeah. On the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a bed, but he's on his back and you're kneeling in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So one more really weird thing I came across with getting rid of your gag reflex, and I don't know if this is true or if it works, but there's this mind hack you can use where you can squeeze your thumb with like between your fingers, and like it's like a pressure point that can help you like alleviate your gag reflex.
What?
Yeah. Squeeze your thumb and your fingers hard. And this is there's a circulated rumor that it can control your gag reflex during deep throating.
I mean, this is hard for me to test without, like a dick in my mouth.
Or a dick in your mouth. Yeah, that's what I
But
meant.
yeah, this is, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to have to, what I'll do is, it's quarantine right now. So I don't have dicks aplenty, but I'm going to have to try this with like a toy or something. And just
I think I might too. Yeah.
How this affects it. And you know what? Maybe if nothing else, it'll be what do you call it, like psychosomatic, like I'll be able to talk myself into believing that this is actually a trick, but Ooh, yeah, I'm intrigued.
I am intrigued too. It reminded me, like, this has nothing to do with sex, but like when like someone's like, oh, sometimes when you're running a marathon and you start to cramp, if you like rub your fingers together, you're too focused on your fingers rubbing together than like the cramp that's happening. So you can like focus. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's the same thing. I don't know.
I've never heard that, but that just shows you how often I go running.
I don't run. What are you talking about? I mean, I don't run. I just read it. I read about running way more than I run.
Reading about running. That's
yeah,
how we get
really
our
into
exercise.
My run reads. Yeah.
This episode has been
wild.
So many things. You can tell we haven't recorded in a while because it brought up a lot of things we've clearly had on our minds and didn't realize.
I know. Yeah. But I feel like next time, I think I do want to try deep throating because I feel like I have always wanted to, but it was like, I don't know. My point being is that I think I'm gonna like train. I think I'm gonna go into training.
Hey, I'm just like hearing the Rocky song like playing in my head now.
I know, and I'm just like
yeah, no, and you know what? Now is the time. I mean, we've talked about
exactly. Yeah.
Now is the time to experiment with yourself, with your body, with somebody else if you have them, but no pressure to go out there and find someone, you know? So
no pressure, yeah.
No, I think this is a great time to train yourself, and we'll just have to check in and have like training sessions together.
We'll keep each other accountable. We'll be each other's coach.
That's what good friends and teammates do. Whether you're looking to buy or sell used panties, Sofia Gray has got you covered. If you want to earn some extra cash, you can set up your own shop in minutes and start selling your own used underwear. And they take no commission. You'll keep 100% of every single sale that you make.
If you got a kink for used panties and you're looking to buy your next pair, look no further. Oh, and the whole process is completely anonymous. Sofia Gray will never share, store, or archive your personal information. The name Sofia Gray won't even appear on your bank receipt. So head on over to sofiagray.com to start selling or buying used panties now.
If you're a fan of the podcast, we hope you'll subscribe on your favorite podcast streaming platform. You can also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts to let us know what you think. And while you're at it, feel free to share your feedback or questions by sending us an email to podcast@sofiagray.com. Until next time, I'm Lacey Bloom.
And I'm Tracey Bust.
And we're here to say, let them be kinky. There's no kink shaming here.